Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Hare, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev, Srila Gurudev. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajacharya Ashtodasat Srimad Srila Abhaya Chanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Gauri Vaishnavind Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से बोलो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय. The most auspicious day of Sri Ramanavami ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Krishna Krishna Srimate Vrajanath Krsna Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauramani Prajnane Namaste Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Canto 9 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because today is Ram Navami, special festival. So we are going to be reading from Canto 9 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 10, the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra. We'll be doing text number 54, which is very famous. And it's a very beautiful shloka that explains about the glories of Lord Ram. We'll all do Mangal Charan. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevayat Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatam Aham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So, Canto 9 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 10, Text 54. Ekapatni Vratadharo Rajarshi Charita Suchi Swadharmam Griyamediyam Shikshayan Swayamacharat. Ekapatni Vratadharo Rajarshi Charita Suchi Swadharmam Griyamediyam Shikshayan Swayamacharat. Ekapatni Vratadharo Rajarshi Charita Suchi Swadharmam Grihamedhiyam Shikshayan Swayamacharat. Word for word. Ekapatni Vratadhara, taking a vow not to accept a second wife or to have any connection with any other woman. Raja Rishi, like a saintly king, Charitaha, whose character, Suchihi, pure, Swadharmam, one's own occupational duty, Grihamedhiyam, especially of persons situated in household life, Shikshayan, teaching by personal behavior, Swayam, personally, Acharata, executed his duties. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Chanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Lord Ramachandra took a vow to accept only one wife and have no connection with any other woman. He was a saintly king, and everything in his character was good, untinged by qualities like anger. He taught good behavior for everyone, especially for householders in terms of Varnashrama Dharma. Thus, he taught the general public by his personal activities. Purport. Ekapatni Vrata, accepting only one wife, was the glorious example set by Lord Ramachandra. One should not accept more than one wife. In those days, of course, people did marry more than one wife. Even Lord Ramachandra's father accepted more wives than one. But Lord Ramachandra, as an ideal king, accepted only one wife, Mother Sita. When Mother Sita was kidnapped by Ravana and the Rakshasas, Lord Ramachandra, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, could have married hundreds and thousands of Sitas. But to teach us how faithful he was to his wife, he fought with Ravana and finally killed him. The Lord punished Ravana and rescued his wife to instruct men to have only one wife. Lord Ramachandra accepted only one wife and manifested sublime character, thus setting an example for householders. A householder should live according to the ideal of Lord Ramachandra, who showed how to be a perfect person. Being a householder or living with a wife and children is never condemned, provided one lives according to the regulative principles of Varnashrama Dharma. Those who live in accordance with these principles, whether as householders, brahmacharis, or vanaprasthas, are all equally important. Jai. So today, being Ram Navami, we will all discuss about Lord Ram's glories. It's a bit awkward to give a talk when there is nobody present, so my material eyes can see. But that's okay. We can see Lord Ramachandra, although he had a big facility, he was the king, he gave up all of that so he could live alone in the jungle. So this idea of sometimes us being alone in our sadhana is okay. Of course, it is explained that one should not stay too alone. One should always gather association, be it physical, or be it through instructions, or be it through, through the internet. One should try to get association where possible, and even with one's family. Like even if one is not able to get to the internet, even with one's own family, one can have association and discuss about Krishna Katha. Because we can see that in Lord Ramachandra. We can also see that in the Pandavas while they were out in the forest. They took a lot of association of Vaishnavas. It is explained that when the Pandavas, when they got exiled, they were very angry and they wanted to kill everybody. They wanted to kill all the Kauravas, anybody who supported the Kauravas. But as they went to the jungle and then they associated with devotees, by the time they came out on the other side, they no longer had this anger. Their anger had subsided. And Yudhishthira even presented to Duryodhana this idea that we can only have 5 villages and that's acceptable. So you can see how initially they were very angry. But through the association of devotees in a in a secluded area, their anger subsided. So although we might be cooped up because of governmental reasons, we can appreciate that when one is cooped up, one gets angry. But then by associating of devotees with one's family or through the internet or through reading the books written by Srila Prabhupada, one's anger gets subsided and one can deal with the material world more nicely. So back to Lord Ramachandra, here we see in this wonderful shloka a nice summary given of the glories of Lord Sri Ramachandra. Lord Sri Ramachandra is a very glorious personality. We see in the beginning of Ramayana, we see, what's the right word? We see the usual suspects show up. So the usual suspects are usually Narad Muni. He always shows up in Leelas of relating with Krishna and Lord Ram as well. We see in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva is sitting and he's confused. What should I do? I have written so many books, but I am not feeling very much satisfied. And in that moment, we see Narad Muni shows up, and Narad Muni actually, he expresses an idea in the mind of Vyasadeva, that Vyasadeva should glorify Krishna. He should glorify devotion to Krishna. Now in Valmiki Ramayana, we also see a similar concept. We see Valmiki along with his disciples is sitting and he is considering who is the most perfect person in this world. He is considering, this is the opening of Valmiki Ramayana. At that time we see Narad Muni, the eternal spaceman, as Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport. He's a spaceman. So the eternal spaceman shows up there in Valmiki Ramayana, and he encourages Valmiki to write about Lord Sri Ram. So we can see the usual suspect. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva is thinking, what should I write about? And Narad Muni shows up and tells him, write about Krishna. And then in Valmiki Ramayana, we see Valmiki is thinking, who is the most perfect person that I can write beautiful poetry on? And we see again Narad Muni show up and dispel any doubt and say, write about Lord Sri Ram. So Narad Muni, he has a very unique role to play in this wonderful pastimes, both in dispersing the knowledge of Krishna and also dispersing the knowledge of Lord Ram. We will see this idea of the similar people doing similar activities. We'll see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadev Goswami and Shaunaka Muni are sitting down and they are discussing about the glories of Krishna. We'll also see this similar concept in the beginning of Mahabharata. So even Mahabharata, it is a conversation between Sukadev Goswami and Shaunaka Muni. And that's how Mahabharata also begins, where Shaunaka Muni is asking questions to Sukadev Goswami, and then he is replying and explaining the whole story of Mahabharata. So we will see again similar concepts. So even you will see also this concept in Narad Muni. He shows up in Srimad Bhagavatam and then details out bhakti to Krishna. And then in Valmiki Ramayana as well, he details out the glories of Lord Sri Ram. So this is the opening chapter of Valmiki Ramayana called Balakanda. And in this first chapter, Narad Muni, when he is questioned by Valmiki the Rishi, about tell me about who is the most perfect person, who has the most perfect behavior. Narad Muni then eulogizes about Lord Sri Ram. He glorifies Lord Sri Ram and he says, Lord Sri Ram is the most perfect being. And listening to this, Valmiki Rishi, he listens to the summary that Narad Muni gives. So in the beginning of the first chapter, very first chapter of Ramayana, a summary is given of Lord Ram's character, Lord Ram's deeds, and Lord Ram's glories. All three. So character, deeds, and glory. So these three things are expressed in the first chapter, and Narad Muni very nicely explains this. In there, it is explained that Ramayana will be of 24,000 verses. even in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Srimad Bhagavatam, of course, we do see Sukadev Goswami mentioned that Ramayana is also 1 billion verses. So there is a very beautiful book that is currently being written by a devotee in ISKCON. I forget his name now, but he's currently translating verse by verse Ramayana. So all the 24,000 verses he's going to translate. So I read his first, I think he has released 3 books or maybe 1 book, I don't remember now. But he has released Balakanda. So I was reading there, and in that he explains that this 1 billion verses, in the upper regions, there are 1 billion verses that glorify or that describe the glories of Lord Ram. So it's considered as Ramayana there. Also, it is explained that word can be taken in a way that there are 1 billion Ramayans. Like there are 1 billion Ramayans that glorify Lord Sri Ram. So you can take it in both sense. Yep. But the Valmiki Ramayana, the one that we read today, has only 24,000 verses. And in those 24,000 verses, we get to see this wonderful pastime of Lord Sri Ram. And in that pastime, the key aspect that is always discussed is the aspect of Karuna, or the aspect of generating mercy. Now, when we say generating mercy, we mean generating mercy of so Lord Ram becomes merciful to us, and also generating the mercy in us so that we can become more humble and more patient. Nowadays we see there is a viral epidemic, a pandemic rather, sorry, not epidemic, it's still a pandemic. There is a viral pandemic, and this in this moment there is encouragement given to people that let your mercy come out. As you are seeing human beings dying, one should realize, okay, if human beings are dying, so are animals. So maybe I should become more merciful to animals. So that is one thought that comes in this viral pandemic. So this we can appreciate. So when we read Ramayana, the idea is that Karuna should form. Right? Now usually when we read Shastra, we generally get attached to the controversy. Because the reason why we get attached to controversy is when we read these Vedic books, we actually get attached to the idea that the people that are being spoken here are ideal. And if they are ideal, then we don't expect them to deviate from an ideal position. Now, ideal nature is something that in our own minds we have decided an ideal person must do this. So then when we read Shastra and we see somebody not doing what we think is ideal, we think it's controversial. So one of the key aspects here is in the beginning of this shloka is Eka Patni Vrata Dharo. The Lord Ram, he took a vow to accept only one wife. Right? And that one wife is Sita Devi. And Sita Devi, she is an exemplary person herself. There is a very nice story in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is towards the end of Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think this is in the beginning of Antya Leela. I think it's around the first few chapters of Antya Leela. It is explained that Lord Chaitanya was traveling all over India. And then as he was traveling a bit towards North India, he meets this wonderful, a wonderful Brahmana. The name of this Brahmana is Ramadasa Vipra. Okay, Vipra means one who is a very big scholar, and his name is apt, is Ramadasa. He was a devotee of Lord Ram. So he meets Lord Chaitanya, as Lord Chaitanya is traveling through the forest and traveling through villages. So he meets Lord Ram in one of these villages. And, sorry, I apologize, not Lord Ram. He meets Lord Chaitanya, this Brahmana, Ramadas Vipra. He meets Lord Chaitanya. So when he meets Lord Chaitanya, he actually asks Lord Chaitanya that, would you like to take lunch in my house? So Lord Chaitanya is very merciful. We were talking about Karuna. So Lord Chaitanya, he is the epitomization of Karuna. So he is very merciful. So he actually says, yes, I accept. I will, come to your house. So we see Lord Chaitanya actually take that decision to have lunch in this Brahmana's house. But after Lord Chaitanya takes his bath, when he comes to this Brahmana's house, he sees that nothing is cooked. So when he sees that nothing is cooked, Lord Chaitanya says, "My dear Brahmana, how come there is no lunch? You invited me to lunch, but there is no lunch." So then Lord Chaitanya, the Brahmana tells Lord Chaitanya, "Oh, no, we have to wait. Actually, Lakshman is collecting vegetables. And once he collects all the vegetables, Mother Sita will cook and the lunch will be ready." So Lord Chaitanya, when he hears this, he becomes very happy. And he, accepts this mood of this devotee, of this Brahmana. And he accepts the fact that this devotee is a great, this person is a great devotee of Lord Sri Ram. So when Lord Chaitanya, he actually sits there and he waits. Eventually, I think after some time, the Brahmana cooks lunch, and the lunch has come late. So I think there was around maybe 3 p.m. or like a bit later than normal. Like usually we have lunch midday, but this one was probably more towards the evening. So Lord Chaitanya, he sits and he eats the lunch, and he sees that the Brahmana is not partaking in the lunch. So Lord Chaitanya asks the Brahmana, "My dear Brahmana, why are you not participating in having lunch?" At that time, the Brahmana expresses his sorrow. He says, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, how can I eat lunch? I have just heard that Mother Sita has been kidnapped by Ravana. My Mother Sita, who cooks lunch and who is very dear and kind to all the devotees of Lord Ram, she has been kidnapped. I shall not live anymore in this world. I shall kill myself. My body is burning, but my life is not leaving my body." So that's a very interesting phrase that he says, the Brahmana. Now, usually it is explained that when somebody is dying, then the body generates, heat. This heat is so great that it forces the soul to leave the body. Like, in some types of diseases, the body generates so much heat that the soul is forced to leave the body. You can see actually even in this viral pandemic that is there, that similar nature, that the body generates so much heat because it generates so many white blood cells that eventually the soul leaves the body. So this Brahmana is saying that although my body is burning with that heat, my soul is not leaving the body. How unfortunate am I? At this time, Lord Chaitanya, he actually describes to the Brahmana that do not worry, that the Sita that has been abducted by Ravana is Maya Sita. So Maya Sita is Vedavati. So you all know the story that there was a very nice Brahmin girl. Her name was Vedavati, and she was meditating because she wanted Vishnu to be her husband. But her meditation was cut short because Ravana happened to be passing by, and when he saw Vedavati, he looked at her beauty and he thought, "Oh, I must have her." So he goes towards Vedavati and he immediately asks her, "Come with me." But Vedavati refuses and says, "No, I only want to be married to Lord Vishnu." So then at that time, Ravan tries to kidnap Vedavati, so he catches her hair. But Vedavati, with the prowess of her chanting, she cuts her hair with her hand. That's a very unique thing to cut your hair with your hand. But she cuts her hair, Vedavati, and then Vedavati, she curses Ravana that you will be killed by this act, that when you will abduct somebody's wife, that person will come and kill you. And then Vedavati, she, leaves her body. So this Vedavati then takes the form of Maya Sita, and just before Ravan is about to kidnap Sita Devi, Maya Sita takes her place, and she is kidnapped by Ravana. So when by saying these things, Lord Chaitanya pacifies the Brahmana. says, my dear Brahmana, don't worry. It is only Maya Sita that was taken away from Lord Ram. Lord Ram's Sita. So Sita is an eternal consort. So sometimes we may be thinking that, this story of Maya Sita is not in Valmiki Ramayana, which in fact it isn't. But through our own understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam, we can appreciate that when we are in the spiritual world, we want to enjoy. Right? As Krishna, we want to be God. We see Krishna enjoying and we think, I also want to be God. So the moment we have this thought, right, we start dealing with Maya. So although it is explained that in the spiritual world there is only Yoga Maya, which is Krishna's internal potency, but when we see Krishna enjoying, you see, we see Krishna's enjoyment, we now want to have the same enjoyment. So Krishna is the energetic and enjoying or enjoyment is his energy. So the moment we see Krishna's energy, we think, I want to engage with this energy. So now one may consider, okay, if I want to engage with Krishna's energy, why Krishna doesn't just let me enjoy? The problem is Krishna is unlimited. So his energy is unlimited. And we are not able to deal with that energy, that internal energy of Krishna, the internal potency of Krishna. So then what Krishna does, in order to allow us to fulfill our desire and to allow us to enjoy that energy, Krishna has to make that energy in a way that we as limited beings can enjoy it. Right? So that is why we will see this Maya, when we enjoy it, this Maya is actually temporary, dukkhalayam and ashashvatam, and therefore it is sad. So it is important to understand this. Because Maya is temporary, it is sad. Right? And we will see this representation in Maya Sita. That Maya Sita, she is for a temporary moment with Ravana for about a year, like for a temporary moment, she is with Ravana, and in that whole time she calls Ravana. She is sad. Maya Sita is sad, and the fact that Ravana is also perturbed and sad. We will see this combination, and this combination is true for all of us as well. We are in this material world because we were once upon a time in the spiritual world. We were seeing Krishna enjoying and we wanted to enjoy like Krishna. So we wanted that energy of enjoyment. So Krishna, because obviously we cannot enjoy this, we don't have the capacity to enjoy this energy. He breaks this energy down into smaller chunks so we can enjoy it. This is Mahamaya. This is the illusion. Because it is these small chunks that we can enjoy. And so if you break something into chunk, as you know, if something is in small chunks, the enjoyment is limited. Like if you want to eat a puri and someone gives you a quarter puri, you're like, oh, quarter puri? And you're eating, you're thinking, oh no, I wish I had more puri. So that is how, unfortunately, the Mahamaya works. Because we are the ones who want this. Right? So I hope that makes sense. So when, in this way, Lord Chaitanya, he pacifies the Brahmana. And the Brahmana becomes greatly satisfied. And then it is explained later on in Antya Leela that Lord Chaitanya continues his journey. And then in his journey, he finds Kurma Purana. And in Kurma Purana, he finds these wonderful stanzas, or verses rather, that describe this story of Maya Sita. So he becomes greatly ecstatic when he gets this Purana. So he asks the local priest if he can keep a copy of this Kurma Puran. He then jots down a copy of it, and then he takes that copy and he gives it to the Brahmana Ramadas Vipra. And then by reading that, Ramadas Vipra becomes greatly satisfied that he now has not only the word of Lord Chaitanya, but he also has Shastric reference that explains this story of Maya Sita. And the reason why it is important to understand this story of Maya Sita is when we see that in the following chapter 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam, and also in Valmiki Ramayana, it is explained that one time Lord Ram he steps out incognito into his kingdom, and he hears that there is a washerman who is berating his wife, right? And because his wife had stayed over in somebody's house, he actually berates his wife and he says, I am not like you. It's very interesting. I apologize. I am not like Lord Ram, not like you, sorry. I am not like Lord Ram, who will simply accept a wife if she has stayed in somebody else's house. So there are two things we can understand from this story. Number one is that family feud and fighting between husband and wife has been there for time immemorial. It hasn't been there from the previous yugas as well. Even in the times of Lord Ram, when everything was peaceful, fights used to be there. The second thing is, sometimes we actually try to compare ourselves to Krishna, and so this is our fault. So this is our fault. Not only ourselves, we may even sometimes compare our leaders, our managers, or our people who are dependent on us to Krishna. Sometimes I see my son and I think, I wish my son was a bit more obedient. So it is very nicely explained. I like this phrase. It says, everybody wants his son to be Lord Ram, but nobody wants to be like King Dasharath. So if I want my son to be obedient, I also must be obedient. So if I am obedient, naturally my son will be obedient. It's very natural. So my son is not obedient, that means I am not obedient. So there are there are various qualities that we have to generate as devotees. Sorry, I'm just trying to. I think I lost track of what I was discussing. So give me 1 second. I was discussing about. Sheesh! I've completely lost track of what I was discussing. I was discussing about let me ask Lord Krishna to give me my remembrance. Generally devotees are here, so see, this is association of devotees. If the association of devotees are there, they immediately remind you what you were discussing. Now we don't have that. We'll ask Krishna to give me some remembrance. What was I actually discussing? So I was actually discussing about the controversy of Lord Ram and Mother Sita. Right? So we are discussing about this washerman, and this washerman is comparing himself to Krishna. To Lord Ram, and saying, I'm not like Lord Ram. I will not accept my wife. You see, we see this comparison. So then, oh wow, it's 8:45. I better wind up. Thank you, Krishna. So we actually see that in this story that. When Lord Ram hears this, statement by the washerman, he starts thinking that I am a king, and I must always be, having the highest quality. So therefore, he asks his wife Sita that you please go live with Valmiki Valmiki Rishi. I keep saying Valmiki Ramayana. With Valmiki Rishi, and then by staying with Valmiki Rishi, you can live within my protection, because the king, he protects everybody, including the brahmanas. So you will be within my protection, but you will not be physically with me, right? Now despite and of course Sita Devi, she is also a very responsible queen. So when she understands Lord Ram's emotions, she accepts it, and she goes and she stays with Valmiki Rishi. So even in this moment, Lord Ram does not give up his vow of Eka Patni Vrata. So this we have to appreciate. So we have to appreciate Lord Ram in this wonderful moment. There is also one quick thing, and then I'll end up, is this line, Swadharmam Griha Medhiyam. Swadharmam Griha Medhiyam means one whose occupational duty, right? One who teaches people who are engaged in their occupational duties. Swadharmam Griha Medhiyam. So all of us, we are engaged in our daily activities, and Lord Ram, his stories are there to teach us, right? So that is important for us to appreciate. Swadharmam Griha Medhiyam. Right now, there is something very interesting. When we see Lord Ram's story, when Lord Ram realizes that his wife has been stolen, you have to appreciate one thing. His padukas, or his feet, were sitting on the throne in Ayodhya. So he was virtually, not physically, but virtually the king of Ayodhya. So he could have immediately gathered his army and gone out and basically, attacked, Ravana. He could have also asked other kings in that area to gather around him and form an army and attack Ravana. But Lord Ram did not do that. Two reasons. One is because he did not want to, he wanted to be true to his father's word, King Dasharatha, that he must stay away from royalty. Like the purpose of exile was that Lord Ram stays away from any royal connection. So that even means, association of other kings. So Lord Ram, he followed that. The second thing was, he decided to form an army of monkeys. So we are all monkeys. We are today staying in Kali Yuga, and we are all living our life in this crazy time. So we are also like monkeys, all right. So Lord Ram, he forms an army of monkeys. So we can also participate in this army of monkeys, right? How do we participate in this army of monkeys? By chanting the glories of Lord Ram and by distributing this knowledge of Krishna consciousness to everybody. In this way, we also participate in the as part of the monkey army, the Vanar Sena of Lord Ram. There are many stories I wanted to say about Lord Ram, but actually we've run out of time. It's 8:45. So I will end here. Today is Ram Navami. We like all devotees to share the stories of Lord Ram, meditate on the stories of Lord Ram, and be happy. Also something very interesting, that on 25th March, finally Lord Ram has come out of the tent, in Ayodhya. He's finally come out of the tent and has been established in his temple in Ayodhya, which is actually, as devotees of Krishna, of Krishna and of Lord Ram, it is something which gives great solace to the heart. And we hope that a wonderful temple is built in Ayodhya, and the glories of Lord Ram are spread all over the world. Jai Shri Ram. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktarvind ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.